Hello, sports fans. Mauricio here. Well, let's take a look at the code to add the extra services to a reservation. We've got, like any other code, we need to have input variables. Usually, we need to do error checking of the data provided by the program user. Maybe they've got the wrong guest ID. Maybe they've got the wrong reservation ID. Maybe they've got the wrong service ID. Maybe they got the wrong room number. We've got to worry about all these things. So here's the code to add line items, add extra services. That's funny. To reservation. So we start with data entry, then we check the data entry, then we do the data processing, and then we have some type of output. A message, yes, your champagne has been added to your bill, that type of thing. So, so you see the extra services I have. You use whatever ones you want. Hopefully this can be a little fun. So this particular invoice, sorry it's late, this particular reservation has 4 extra services. 1 horseback riding, 2 archery, 3 champagne, only once, and a cooking class, 3 units of cooking class, so somebody went back. But let's take a look at the code. So this is the add services to reservation, and let's just have the wrong room number. So it's supposed to be 301. What if I put 101? So will it catch that? That's an error. Ooh, not a valid open reservation. So let's take a look at that. So we're getting the data of the servers, what they want, what room number, so the guest ID and the unit. So the idea is that they're ordering, hey, I'm Joe Smith, I'm in room 301, and tomorrow we want to go horseback riding, so 2 units. So first you have to check that they have a reservation and that the reservation is correct. Well, how do you know the reservation? The guest provided and the room provided. Well, what if the guest provided or the room provided is wrong? If there is no reservation, so select the reservation for that guest and room ID. If they don't exist, then they're not. So we're getting the reservation ID from the guest and room ID. So the guest says, I'm Joe Smith, I'm in room 301. And the system figures out that Joe Smith is customer 5. And we get their reservation ID. So we know the reservation ID. And it may not exist because we have the wrong guest ID or room. It's a select statement. So if there's nothing there, if that reservation isn't there and open, it could have been an old reservation, but if that reservation is not there, then stop. Stop the script or call it a store procedure. Not a valid open reservation. So what if that was right, room 301, but they have the wrong guest? So let's see if that works. Still not an open reservation. So those both have to be right. The guest and the room ID have to be right. And so that's a nice check. Next, we'll check the service ID. So we're going to, you pass in the service ID up at the top. And we're going to see, is that service ID in the extra services table? So I showed the extra services table is, service ID 1 through 5. What if somebody typed the wrong service ID? So it should have an error, not a valid open reservation. So coding, and we've done a lot of it, more than design work. So we need to talk more about design. Coding has a lot of error checking, and that's our job. Check, check, check. And your job is to replicate this code, get it to work, and then explain it, and then hopefully through osmosis, you can have a fun final project, and you've got all the building blocks here to practice and create something. And of course, I stand behind you to lift you up. So yeah, so not. So we should get a different error message. Okay, it should be guest 5. There we go. And now we should get a different error message. Check service ID. So that's this part here. So if that's a bad service ID, it's not there, just stop. Check it and then stop. All right, so if we get this far, that means we're going to get it to work. So let's go ahead and run that. And it says 1 unit of roller bed. So that's service 5 is a roller bed for $30 added to the reservation. How did that happen? So now we're in the data processing section. So first we have to get the price and the service name for that service ID, since we know it's a good service ID. In this case, 5. So we get the price from the extra services table. So this again is the extra services table. Go get the price of the roller bed, and you can do a lot more with availability here. We've only got 6 roller beds for the whole hotel. I'm not gonna do anything that complex yet, but go get me the price for the service and go get me the name so that we can have an interesting output. So we've got good data. I've got the price and the name of the extra service. So if that service is not in the table of services, so that reservation and extra service ID, if that reservation and service ID are not in the extra services table yet, then it's a new insert. So go ahead and do your insert. So insert into the extra services table and the values, and then add it to the reservation. So that's what it said right there. Add it to the so 1 unit, is that what we ordered? Yeah, 1 unit. 1. So we could add to that now. And let's see if it works. So we need 2 roller beds. Another unit of service roller bed added to the order. So that's very nice, actually. And we'll see how that happened in a minute. So if it's the first time, then it just says number of units added to the reservation. So that's where we have the service name. That's very useful. And the units. So why have units? Well, if you're ordering horseback riding, you could order 2 units or for 2 people. And so the services are offered per person, except the champagne, which is per bottle, I suppose. That can be shared by more than one person. All right. So if the service is not on the extra services table yet, it's not there yet, go ahead and add it. So let me refresh this. So it looks like we have 3 bottles of champagne. What the heck? Let's get another one. So 997. So they're here 92 to 96. So we just add another one for 9. Oh, I had 2 units, so that's why it jumped up. Let me just add 1 more unit there. That's a roller bed. So let me add another roller bed. How many do I have? No, I have 3 roller beds. Let me add 1 more roller bed. So how many do I have? 3. We need a lot of roller beds, a lot of Cougs visiting us. So another unit added, and refresh this. Okay, so that's working just fine. So if the product is, if it doesn't exist, so that, we're looking for a row with the reservation and that service ID. If that's not on there, then go ahead and add it. If it is on there, if it does exist, the line, first the reservation is good. The reservation ID, that we discovered based on guest ID and room ID. If the reservation is good and it's open, then we can add extra services to the reservation. It's a valid reservation. And so this is what I had trouble with before. It's really important after an if statement to use a begin and an end. And then we have a nested if, begin, and end. And I am very careful with the indenting. I encourage you to do the same. So this is one code block, begin, end. Here's another code block, begin, end. And the entire store procedure has its own begin, end. Use go create procedure as begin and end. So if it is a valid reservation, and if that service is already on the reservation, then go ahead and update it. So this code only runs if the line item already exists, if that service already exists on the reservation. So go ahead and update the extra services table. That's this. And then go add another unit of whatever. And so we certainly want some champagne. So that's number 3, service 3. And service 3, we have 1. So let's see if it works. Another unit of another unit of service, room service champagne, added to the order. Maybe some work is needed there to make it look better, but that should go to a 2. Dun, 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 dun. So extra service 3 is champagne, and now we have 2 units. And so if the line item is already there, then update that line item. So how do you know which is the line item? We can uniquely identify it by the reservation ID and the extra service ID. And I still have the idea of people signing the receipt. Oh yeah, I ordered the champagne and thanks for bringing it, and here you go. But update the extra services table, increase the number of units, and change the date of service to the most recent. And more work could go there, but not today. So update which row? The row for our reservation, and go get that extra service. So for the reservation and then the extra service, go over to the units and then add to it. So for that reservation and extra service, go over to the units and add to it. And then that's why it said another service of champagne added to the order. So in summary, you have input data. We check the input data. There's our error checking section. A lot of more error checking. Checking. And then you do the data processing. And the processing in this case, get some bits of information. The processing in this case is add a row if it's the first time. Update the row if you're adding more, getting more. Pretty good, huh, sports fans? I hope you're enjoying it and can implement it easily. Good night.